Okay, so I just want to go over the new items in Propresenter. So we've been doing worship service through the lower thirds on the live stream, and you could see what it looked like here. So if I were to double click on a word, that would be on the bottom third. But now we're in the house in the main sanctuary, and you can see a preview here on that drop down, and we're going to be simultaneously transmitting the words to both the in-house and over the live stream, and that's one way to kind of see how they each look. And also eventually we're going to be doing a stage screen once we get that set up, but that'll be a totally different system that's going to really require us to be on the ball and make sure we've got everything in the proper order. And we'll go over some of that later when we come to it. But just some other changes we did add a logo, so you can clear to logo at any point. And if you do that, it should show you. Oh, I'm on stage screen. That's why I'm not seeing it. I'm going to go to projector in-house. It should clear to the Calvary Chapel logo. Again, you can hit clear all to go to black, and click clear to logo to show our logo. Some other changes, made some headings, one for pre-service, one for worship, sermon slides, and post-service. So from here, we've got our announcements and our countdown timer. One thing that we'll probably also have is a slideshow, and I might just have one in here that I could throw in. Here under presentations, that's where most things are found, including the sermon notes. If there's a slideshow in here, I'm just going to go ahead and right click add and add that to the Sunday service. And go to playlist now, and it usually throws it on the bottom of whatever your list is, so I'm going to throw it back here into pre-service. And if I wanted it to transition every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, that's what this little guy up here can do really easily. I'm just going to say that I want these slides to transition every 10 seconds. And so right now, if I double click on the first one, you'll see a little advanced screen here, and it should just rotate over to the next slide in 3, 2, 1, and it goes to the next, and it'll just continue on through. You can change the timings up here if needed. Christians should probably already have a slideshow prepped whenever we get those ready. That's coming down the line, but below that we've got the countdown. It's important to keep the countdown here, the Zion Canyon Countdown Pro. You can double click on it to start it at any point, but really you shouldn't need to anymore. I did put together a calendar schedule for this, so if I go to calendar, you'll see that it's set to start 5 minutes before all the services moving forward. So unless something unforeseen happens, this countdown should automatically start, and you shouldn't have to manually begin it, but you might keep an eye on it, make sure it's working right. Haven't had a chance to test it too much, but past few services it's been working fine. The other announcements, so this is during the worship service, you can just cue them on your own, nothing too new there. The worship service, don't forget that we do want to use our theme every time, Calvary 2-line main centered. It sometimes does go more than 2 lines, that's just the name of the theme that we have for it, and that'll put the appropriate font size and get everything formatted the way that we want. If things are looking a little bit weird on your words, that's probably the problem. You just need to highlight your song, go to theme, Calvary Chapel, and it should just set the words properly. It didn't change it for me there because it was already set properly. Okay, moving down the list here, sermon slides. So each Sunday we're going to be probably inputting new slides. I'd recommend just grabbing all these slides, deleting them, whatever was inside the presentation before, and then just inputting by just dragging and dropping the new sermon slides that Pastor Phil has sent probably over email. So if I had what that would look like, if I just go to the downloads folder, if I had some slides, I'll just grab a small handful. and I'll make sure I'm on sermon, Sunday sermon. Just drag and drop them in Sunday sermon. You'll see it says Sunday sermon right up above where I'm dragging it. And it might say file already exists because these slides have already been imported once in the Propresenter. It's smart enough to know, but I'm just going to say don't worry about it. Just write over it. It's pretty much just because it's a tutorial. If this was a new slide with a different name, you wouldn't be getting this error message. I'm just going to say write over all of them. And yeah, that's all there is to adding the slides. Pastor Phil is probably going to be getting a clicker soon, so hopefully he'll have full control. But one thing you will need to do, and Pastor Phil might remind us, is if he has a clicker, you have to make sure that the slide view is highlighted. So for example, if I was in a song and then I go straight to the sermon slides, if there isn't one of these bounding box selections over his slide, then it's not probably active in the sermon slideshow view, so he won't be able to advance his mouse, his clicking between the slides. So we just got to make sure we click on the first one. Hopefully he'll have a blank slide near the beginning or a title screen, so we can always just cue that one up at the beginning, and then that's the active slide so that he can start his sermon. Hopefully that makes sense, but beyond that, that's pretty much all I was going to go over. There's a post service, thanks for joining us. Option along here too, but I think I'll go ahead and stop the tutorial. Feel free to watch some of the other ones if you want to catch up on how to arrange songs and other aspects of Propresenter, but just want to show you some updates. All right, thanks. Bye.